Clippers are making moves, and you can make all the jokes you want about this being an old team now with Bradley Beal and probably Chris Paul following him to a team that already had a guy like James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, both in the latter stages of their career, but they also bring in John Collins in exchange for Norman Powell, bringing them a stretch four that can also go inside and do dirty work. I love this offseason that the Clippers are having right now. I didn't really like their first round pick, but other than that, I think they have been flawless. Bradley Beal is not as bad as people say he is. Beal was really just used as a scapegoat, in my opinion, in Phoenix because really the players that just left were not too happy, and the roster construction wasn't great. You can get into it. There's a ton of different ways you can go about blaming that situation that blew up, but bottom line, he averaged 17, 4, and 3 on 50% shooting from the field, 39% from beyond the arc on 5 attempts a game, and he was having to play out of position pretty much the entire time because they really didn't have a point guard. They had a backup point guard in Tyus Jones, but their main point guard was either Devin Booker or Bradley Beal, and he was the third option behind Book and KD, so an efficient 17 a game behind two of the best scorers in the league. I mean, he's doing his job, and Phoenix fans were just hating on this man. He was really solid, especially off the catch and shoot, where he shot 41% from 3 on 3.5 attempts per game. He had to be a catch and shoot guy because he's playing off of two of the best scorers in the league, like we said. Now, as for the Clippers situation, I don't know how I like this backcourt of Beal and Harden. I don't really like the defense there, so maybe Beal comes off the bench. I would love him in that sixth man type of role, maybe off the bench, but then again, him off the bench alongside of Chris Paul isn't really the best defense either, but they have enough wings there. John Collins, absolutely love this addition. They trade Norman Powell for a guy who is 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan and can come in and make a difference from day one. Pretty much Norman Powell for John Collins is how it boiled down in the end. Kevin Love was also in this deal, got balled out, but I think this front court now with John Collins and Ivica Zubac is going to be disgusting because John Collins, he went to Utah and he came out being able to shoot the three ball. He's coming off of pin downs. A lot of people don't know, but he can shoot the three ball now. 19 a game with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal and a block per night. Shot 40% from beyond the arc on 3.7 attempts, 53% from the field overall. And I mean, he can go get a bucket. He is a certified wing scorer in the modern NBA. I mean, rip through spin, tough fadeaway, and he's knocking it down. Luke Cornett's guarding him. He's going to slip a pocket pass right to Colin Sexton for the layup. Last year, Derrick Jones Jr. started 54 games at power forward. This year, with John Collins in there at the 4, I like it a lot better. And I like Chris Dunn at the 2, letting Brad Beal come off the bench and cook, although we could see some different lineups, of course, because Kawhi Leonard will probably miss about 40 to 50 games this year. Now, on this play right here, he's using that 6'9" frame with the 6'11" wingspan to really lock up Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown tries to go right through his chest. He knocks it away and gets going the other way. They have 3 really good perimeter defenders in their starting lineup now between John Collins, Chris Dunn, and still even Kawhi Leonard, even at his old age. Once again, coming off of a pin down, John Collins, casuals don't know it, but he can shoot the 3 ball now, and it's not like he's had a low dosage of attempts. 4 attempts a game, that is solid enough. Now, as for Kawhi Leonard, like I said, he will probably miss 40 to 50 games this year, and it's going to be unfortunate. He played 37 games last year, was dealing with knee stuff that surfaced during Team USA training camp, 21.5 points a game, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 1.6 steals during those 37 games. Shot 50% from the field and 41% from 3. One of the best three-point percentages of his career, believe it or not. He just keeps getting better as he gets older. He just can't stay healthy. One of the bigger what-ifs in recent NBA history, I feel like, was what if Kawhi was healthy his whole career? But in the first round, he proved he could still get a bucket, 25 a game with almost 8 rebounds and 4.5 assists on 54% shooting from the field and 41% from 3. If anything, they should have let him have a few more touches because that is a very, very efficient clip to be shooting to only get a limited amount of shots per game. Remember game 2 where he made that statement, dropping 39 points, 5 boards, 2 steals, and a block on 15 of 19 shooting from the field, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. Kind of saying, hey, I'm still here. I might be 34 years old, but I'm still here. I can still go get a bucket at the biggest stage of the game in the NBA playoffs. He's still 6'7" with that 7'3" wingspan. That hasn't gone anywhere. So he can still defend. He can still be in passing lanes, be very disruptive. I'm still a big fan of Kawhi Leonard. I still think he can be huge for this Clippers team next year. It's just they're going to be old. And the rumors circulating right now aren't going to make them any younger, because it's reported that Chris Paul is closely eyeing a return to Los Angeles for his final season. He's already announced this will be his last year in the league, and I mean, he's still a really good backup point guard. I mean, a guy that can get you 9 and 7.5 in 28 minutes a game on 43-38 shooting splits, 4.5 attempts from beyond the arc. That's really good numbers. He is the point guard. He can still find a big man. This could really be CP3 and Yannick Niederhausen rolling down the paint, or even Brook Lopez, who's a really underrated backup center addition. But he played 82 games last year as a 40-year-old. He's going to be 41 this year. And hey, I mean, if you bring him in on a minimum deal, I won't hate that whatsoever. Bring him in, let him run the second team, and you could really have something there. Now, as for Yannick Niederhausen, really fun name to say. He's just not that good, to be honest, in my opinion. He's really good at finishing around the rim because he is 7'1". Averaged 12.5 points, 7 rebounds, 2.3 blocks in 25 minutes a game this year at Penn State. Has a couple of moves around the basket, so like I said, he can be effective there. But other than that, I mean, there's just not much to his game. He is a rim running, rim protecting big. He can't shoot really, seals the guy off nicely right there, catches and dunks it, catches a lob right here, goes up and finishes it. I mean, that's about the extent of what he does. And I thought there was a lot of different options you could have gone with at 30. I thought Rasheer Fleming would have been perfect at 30. Defensively, he is good because, like I said, he has a really nice wingspan at about 7'4" with a 7'1" frame, 7-foot frame, something like that. But I mean, he can block shots pretty well, so they can nurture him and have him be the backup after Brook Lopez is out of town. As for James Harden, he just signed a 2-year, $81 million team-friendly, believe it or not, extension to stay with the Clippers for 2 more years. And yeah, he's going to be 35 this year, which, I mean, he's getting old. It's that time where, you know, the 2010 stars are kind of going out. But, I mean, he finished 10th in MVP voting last year. So he is still, it looks like, in his prime, averaging 23, 8.5, 5.5, and 1.5. I shouldn't say prime. The end of his prime. 41% shooting from the field, 35% from 3. I mean, prime James Harden, we're talking about a guy that could score 40 for 30 consecutive games. Not quite there, but I mean, he can still read a pick and roll. That is for sure. Reading Giannis right here, manipulating Gary Trent Jr. with his eyes, waiting for him to tag and get back, and then throws the pass right there to Zubac for the easy dunk. And then he's still got that ISO bag. He's still got bag work right here, cooking Ryan Rollins. Then Gary Trent Jr. switches onto him, and it really doesn't matter. He's going to get to his sidestep and knock it down. One of the more unguardable shots in the game of basketball right now. When he gets into that tween move, I mean, it's so tough to stop. He's a lot of fun to watch as a purist of ISO basketball. That's James Harden. When you think about ISO hoops, that's James Harden. This starting lineup should be pretty good. We talked about it earlier. This should be a really good starting lineup. And the bench should be really revamped. With a guy like Brad Beal coming off the bench, Brook Lopez, like I said, really underrated signing. Still have wings with Nick Batum and Derrick Jones Jr., even though Batum is pretty old. And then you bring in like Chris Paul to be the backup point guard. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's a pretty good team. It's just old. The only thing stopping them is injuries, and that will probably happen, unfortunately. But if it doesn't, if they're healthy come playoff time, they can make some noise. 2 years, $18 million for Brook Lopez. Fantastic value. The reason why he was, not as good last year was because he was making like close to $30 million, averaging 13 and 5 on 51, 37 shooting splits. I mean, that's not great, and especially in the playoffs when he gets played off the floor. The Bucks had to let him go. They really had no other choice. He comes to Los Angeles on a nice veteran deal, and like I said, he can be a solid backup center for you. I like the moves. I really like the John Collins move. That's probably my favorite, but Bradley Beal to Los Angeles as well. That helps them move the needle a little bit as well as that sixth man. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.